Graham Douglas campus of the Nigerian Law School in Port Harcourt. Senators want to politicize the establishment of Nigerian law school campuses.
Where the government is here or not. So if, for example, for what I heard, the Deputy Senate President, through some other lawmakers, are sponsoring a bill to establish 2 schools per zone, and then saying that one in Yenegua and one in Delta State in the village of the Deputy Senate President. It's most unfortunate. It's most unfortunate. We are not worried. As far as we are concerned, the law school is going on as approved by the Council of Civil Education to Mr. President.
An educationist, Lawrence Chukwu, says Rivers State loses 400 million naira yearly from Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, because it has no state college of education. Dr. Chukwu, a lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt, told correspondent in Kautuka that states generate funds from TET Fund grants to fund education. He, however, called on the Rivers State government to consider establishing a college of education for the training of teachers.
We are missing almost 400 million naira every year from TET funds, because we do not have State College of Education any longer. That is a statutory allocation that goes to all the College of Education. But because we don't have any, we are missing the yearly allocation from TED Fund. So the governor should also think of opening a College of Education. We have places like Ahoda, we have places like Degema, we have places outside of the particular government area.
Dr. Chukwu also insisted that lack of infrastructure and manpower remains the major challenge in the educational sector in this state.
Posting of teachers, we are talking about understaffing. We are going to post people that are non-existent. The secondary schools, the ones that have teachers, they are not even enough. They are not even enough. So where are you going to post? So the government need to employ teachers. We have qualified teachers who are looking for jobs.
As you may know, the Rivers State College of Education was converted to a University of Education in 2009 by former governor of the state, Chubike Amechi. Students of Rumukbara Community Secondary School in Rivers State now take turns to learn in the few classrooms not affected by floods. Our correspondent who visited the school yesterday reports seeing students sitting outside waiting their turn to learn. 2 flooded blocks of classrooms in the school can no longer be accessed. It was gathered that this happens every year. Meanwhile, the admission fee in Rumukbara Community Secondary School in Rivers State is 13,000 naira. Despite the free education policy of the state government, our correspondent gathered that the fee covers school uniforms and sports wares. Recall that in June 2019, Governor Wike abolished all forms of fees and levies in public primary and secondary schools across the state. Governor Wike had directed state-owned primary and secondary schools to stop collecting fees and levies from students and pupils with immediate effect. The governor had said that the state government will be sending direct allocations to all primary and secondary schools management for their operations. It's not clear if such allocations are received by public schools in the state. A federal high court sitting in Port Harcourt will on December 14 continue hearing on the fundamental suit brought by the leader of Network for the Defense of Democracy and Good Governance, Sobomabo Jackridge, and members of his group. The suit is aimed at stopping Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali Baba, Attorney General of Rivers State, Commissioner of Police, Director of State Services, Director of EFCC and Nigerian Army from arresting and prosecuting Jackridge and his members. When the matter came up yesterday in court, Justice E.O. Obele granted the plaintiff's lawyer request for an extension of time to respond to some applications by the defense lawyer. Justice Obele directed representatives of the first and third respondents to ensure their presence on the next adjourned date. Our correspondent reports that Emmanuel Wulkari, the lawyer to Sobomabo Jackridge, explained in details why his clients went to court to seek enforcement of his fundamental rights.
The reason why we came to court, as it were, is to the fact that there were threats of arrest and detention of the first applicant being the Honorable High Chief Sobomabo and his members, but it's mainly for enforcement of their fundamental rights. And the matter is going on well. We have had a series of adjournments. The matter commenced in Abuja and was eventually transferred to Port Harcourt.
Choba Magistrate in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State has remanded Vincent Olu and Mohammed Tijani to the Degama Correctional Center for stealing 2 manholes at NTA Umboba. Mr. Olu was arrested for stealing 2 manholes worth 800,000 naira and selling them to Tijani on October 24. Chief Magistrate Isaac Agbeso, who declined to grant them bail, adjourned the matter to next year, January 1, 8, and 15, respectively, for hearing of their bail application. Correspondent February reports that one Ebuka Obigwe, who is also standing trial for stealing 35 manholes in Port Harcourt, is expected to appear before this same court on December 14. The matter was transferred to the Department of Public Prosecution's team by the Magistrate Court to handle. Some commercial drivers who operate on the Alakaya-Choba route of the East-West Road have called on the State Commissioner of Police Friday Ebuka to call his men to order. The drivers, in an interview with our correspondent, complained of extortion and harassment from officers of the Nigerian Police Force. They said the officers who operate only in the evenings and early hours of the day usually block a section of the road to extort them.
Early in the night and early in the morning, around that come 5 to 6, they only block that police station. When they block, they will start collecting money from people. May the government help us because we are suffering. More money with the money they carry here because everywhere hard now. Police authority, may they still look into it.
Along East-West Road, between Alakaya and Choba police station, there in the night they used to block there and collect money. Then in the morning, they will also come out and collect money from drivers.
At the Choba junction, after the new road close to their station, they normally stand there to collect money from taxi drivers. Although I've met them up to 3 times, I even argued with them. They told me that if I wanted to check my paper or I wanted to do what other people are doing. But my own opinion is that if the State Commissioner of Police will help us to tell them to stop disturbing taxis on the road.
Away from that, Ogoni Youth Federation is asking the federal government to declare every November 10 a public holiday in Nigeria in honor of Ken Saro-Wiwa and 8 others executed by the military government in 1995. President of the organization, Legbosi Yamabana, in a statement called on President Muhammadu Buhari to exonerate the names of the Ogoni Nine from allegations of the Justice Ibrahim Alta Tribunal and bestow a posthumous national honor on them and not a pardon, as was done in the case of MKO Abiola. As you may know, yesterday was the 26th anniversary of the killing of late Ken Saro-Wiwa and 8 others. The Mosop Peace Committee is inviting all past Mosop presidents, Mosop leaders, past steering committee members, religious leaders, and Mosop affiliates to a congress where issues plaguing Mosop will be addressed. The statement said the congress will hold at the Peace and Freedom Center in Bori on Saturday, November 13 by 10 a.m. prompt. The statement was signed by Ledom Mite, Owens Wiwa, Kenneth Kobani, Professor Ben Nane, Legbosi Piagbara, Joy Nunye, and Georgina Tanalo. Others are Evangelist Caroline Nagbo, Abraham Olungwe, Otwa Nakwasa, and Nigbara Tani. Still ahead, Senate approves Buhari's loan request. Stay tuned. Emergency workers have recorded 2 more bodies from the site of the collapsed 21-story building in Ikoyi, Lagos State. The Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Lagos, Gbenga Motosho, in a statement, said that the death toll from the incident has now risen to 45. Motosho said a committee to supervise the identification and release of the bodies has begun work. There was a robust debate in the Senate yesterday just before a bill to amend the NDDC Act 2000 passed the second reading on the floor of the House chamber. The bill, which seeks to include in the NDDC states which have recently attained oil producing status was sponsored by Senator Solomon Olamilekon. Senator Olamilekon is of the opinion that following the discovery of oil in Bauchi, Lagos and Ogun states, the states have officially joined the League of Oil Producing States and are entitled to the 13% derivation. However, senators from the Niger Delta region kicked against the bill. The Senate has approved $16 billion and €1 billion loans request by President Buhari. The Senate also approved grant components of $125 million, which President Buhari had requested for facilities in an addendum to the 2018-2020 borrowing plan in September. The World Bank, African Development Bank, and the French Development Agency are among the funding agencies.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
China and the U.S. have agreed to boost climate cooperation over the next decade in a surprise announcement at the COP26 Climate Summit in Glasgow. The world's two biggest CO2 emitters pledged to act in a joint declaration. It says both sides will recall their firm commitment to work together to achieve the 1.5 Celsius temperature goal set out in the 2015 Paris Agreement. They called for stepped-up efforts to close the significant gap that remains to achieve that target. On the news this morning, you heard that Governor Nyesom Wike has criticized the bill seeking to establish campuses of Nigerian law school in each of the geopolitical zones. An educationist, Lawrence Chukwu, has said that the real estate is losing 400 million naira yearly from TED Fund. A magistrate court has remanded 2 persons for stealing manholes in Port Harcourt. The Senate has approved the loan request of President Muhammadu Buhari. On the foreign scene, heard that China and the U.S. have both agreed to boost climate cooperation over the next decade. The news was edited by Martha Okeri. For more stories, you can visit www.nigeriainfo.fm. Rains are expected in Port Harcourt this morning. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Thank you for your time and enjoy your morning. Bye-bye for now.